So, like it or not, you've come here for my opinion. And you came here for my opinion on the United Cutlery M48 Ranger Hawk. Now, I can hear a lot of people already start out and screaming and yelling, you know, oh, I broke one of those, or, you know, yada yada yada, they're a China piece of crap. Well, you know, it is made in China, but I don't think I'd go as far as to say it's a piece of crap. It does have its flaws, and it has some good things with it as well. Hopefully we'll get into that. Let's start by discussing the materials in the Tomahawk itself, or the M48 Ranger Hawk. We have a precision cast, as they call it, 2CR13 stainless steel head. I believe the new updated versions will be coming with AUS6. The handle is a FRN handle, that's fiberglass reinforced nylon. The head from tip to tip, from the back of the spike to the front of the axe head, is about 7 3/4 inches long. The blade is 4 inches long. The overall length of the tomahawk is 15.5 inches. The length of the partial tang, which you can see here, is 3.5 inches long, and its thickest point is 1/4 inch thick. It does taper down here at around the 3rd bolt. The weight is about 28.8 ounces, and that is with the sheath and everything that it comes with, and including this, you know, small little paracord lanyard I added. So 28.8 ounces. It's not bad, but you know, to the weight sticklers out there, it can be kind of heavy. The price range on this particular model is about 45 to 50-ish. It just depends on where you go. I believe Amazon will probably have the best deals. Let's talk about the accessories that you get, and you notice that I include the sheath in this. But we won't start with that. We'll start with the compass. It's a plastic compass. It has a semi-rotational face here. A little map wire. But overall, you can't really complain, because what do you really expect with it? But it's nothing to get too hyped out about either. It does come with this little black carabiner. Hopefully you guys can see it. Does not have the little tooth in there in the clip. And this came attached to the paracord wrapped handle, and yes, it does come with this black paracord. What variety? Based on the thickness, I'd say 550, but if I had to trust it to, you know, bear any kind of load, I would just assume, to be safe, probably around 300 pound, just to be safe, because they don't really tell you. The sheath is the downside to this entire tomahawk, in my opinion, as that it completely sucks. It is a soft nylon sheath with a plastic insert and a 4-snap closure, and these two buttons here will periodically come undone randomly as the tomahawk shifts inside the sheath. This is the pouch for the compass. The flap is a little bit off center from the actual pouch itself. And the Velcro on this entire sheath is just terrible. It is the worst Velcro ever. As you can see here, it can't even support the weight of the sheath. And I know this looks MOLLE compatible, but one, these flaps don't really line up. I mean, you can kind of force it, but also, would you really trust this Velcro? It's very, very bad. You do have two real hard points on here. You have like this belt loop here near the front where the axe head would be. And you have this one back here which I have attached this green nylon webbing to, as well as this one. These don't come with the sheath, so don't get any ideas. But overall, the sheath sucks. Oh yeah, one more thing. It is falling apart here where the beard has begun to, or I guess the beard point has begun to eat away at the nylon. So overall, the sheath is just terrible. So let's get on to some pros and cons. A pro is that it's relatively inexpensive, the Tomahawk itself. You can get the black version, which will run you about 30 to 40 bucks. It doesn't have any of the compass or this paracord handle or anything like that. I like this version because it had the OD green handle as well as the paracord, which, by the way, came wrapped like so. This little just horizontal pattern. It's not really that hard to do, and it was also a little bit loose as well, so I had to undo it and retighten it. And I also added this small little braid into the handle. So it's nothing too special. I like the paracord because it gives me a little bit extra girth, as well as this little braid here. It really locks the handle into place. But also, if I want this paracord lanyard, I got that as well. As far as the handle absorbing any shock, I did feel as though it does kind of absorb shock, but then in other instances, it kind of exaggerates it sometimes. Because as I was swinging on the log test, if you watch the video, near the end, my grip was becoming fatigued. Not necessarily my entire arm, because this isn't really all that heavy to swing. But as the Tomahawk vibrated off the log, as I kind of ran into the thicker chunk, it would want to expand my hand and my grip, and it kind of fatigued my hand a little bit. Moving on, there are a couple chips near the top of this blade that you maybe can't see, but they're minor. They're up here at the top. And there's also one that actually came with the Hawk that was in the middle of the blade. I have since resharpened this a little bit, and I have pretty much gotten most of those chips out. These chips up here occurred when because that log that I was testing on, I dug out with this Tomahawk as well as the shovel. But I was chopping at the roots, and I missed, and I hit these rocks, and that caused those chips up here in the top. Overall, when I was chopping at the ice block and the wood itself, I had no damage from any of that. The black coating on the blade is not that great. It is wearing quite quickly, actually. If you can see along here, along the start of the bevel, it's already begun to wear away. And that is due to just unsheathing it and putting it back into the sheath. It has begun to wear away the coating. Also, the wood wore it away, and I've also tested this on the spike on some steel, and it has also worn this away. Now, as far as the spike itself, it's pretty good. I don't really have too many complaints about it. It did come kind of dull or blunt, I should say. And you know, it wasn't that big of a deal. It still punctures steel cans and stuff, but it could have been sharper without being too fragile, because when you look at the tip, you can't really tell in the camera, I'm pretty sure. But if you look at it, what's actually striking is in the shape of a hexagon. So it has 6 sides. So there's a flat on top, flat on the bottom, and then these flats on the sides. One note, when I was striking the ice block in my garage, you can kind of see it in the video. I glanced off the ice one time and I actually hit the hard concrete. That did kind of round the tip just ever so slightly, and I have since tried to resharpen it. It's a little more of a fine point now than it was when it came to me. But overall, I like it. You know, if I could go back in time, would I buy it again? Yeah, but with an asterisk next to that, because in actuality, I would probably buy the SOG Voodoo Hawk over this one, just because I like that one more. But, you know, if it wasn't for that Tomahawk, the SOG, I would still probably buy this. I haven't been disappointed. There's no cracks in the handles. You see the head. No movement. It came pretty dull, but you know, that's easy enough to do. It is 2CR13 stainless steel anyway. But yeah, overall, I was impressed with the Hawk itself. The sheath sucks. If it's your flavor, maybe buy a Kydex sheath. But overall, I'd give this about maybe 7 on my likability scale. I would like it more if it was obviously better head and you know, a few minor changes. I don't like how it sweeps up here on the blade. I'd prefer that to be flat, but that's just a minor gripe. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you later. Thanks for watching.